Hello, I'm the author of the book, The SHTF-Art-of-War. I want to take a few minutes to talk about a big change I see in the prepping movement. Groups that don't allow new ideas into their organization and push back against the social structure they live in always ends in a bad result. If you haven't watched the news lately or noticed, the world is changing and we need to change our minds in how we view the future of preparedness. Change is always resisted. People who have taken it upon themselves to be self-reliant must remember one very important thing. They are the minority. They are vastly outnumbered by the so-called sheeple who strongly believe tomorrow won't be any different than today. You can't change their minds. These sheeple, well, they're our family, friends, and neighbors. I'm willing to bet that 95% of these folks are not as prepared as you. You must remember, these are the people who will still be here with us during a major crisis and after the crisis. When sheeple and sheep are scared, they always run back to the safety of the herd. It's a mistake to be angry at them for this. It's natural for people to cling to the tribe over the truth. After all, waking up to the reality of dangers around us is too much for many people. It's easier to stay asleep. Waking up to the reality that an economic collapse is just around the corner is frightening and would mean a lot of work. Awake people who are preparing have to do hard work to prepare for the uncertain future. I can understand the frustration that many preppers feel when they look around at all the people blindly going about their lives completely unaware of how society as we know it is on the verge of changing overnight. It's easy to get angry at these people around who are willfully ignorant and distracted by celebrities, sports, entertainment, and consumerism. Frustration often leads to anger. And here's where I see many preppers make a mistake. These angry prepper videos that spout anti-government rhetoric do not win any hearts and minds with the non-preppers. It doesn't matter if your message is actually factually right. You could be right in every way. If you're sitting in front of an American flag or a flag that's yellow that says "Don't tread on me," wearing combat gear or holding weapons, this only reminds people of the Middle Eastern terrorists wearing black masks, standing in front of their terrorist organization flags, spouting hateful jihadist rhetoric. These type of YouTube videos, they make it real easy for law enforcement and popular media to label you as a domestic terrorist or a sovereign terrorist. These doomsday preppers are doing a lot of harm. This pushes people in the other direction. They run right back to the herd where it's safe. No one wants to sit next to the crazy person in the lunchroom. I'm not saying some of these prepper channels don't have good information. Some do. But I'll use James Yeager as an example. He's a passionate trainer and has put out a lot of good information on firearms. He's got a great training school. But as soon as he put out a video saying he was about to shoot some people because of gun control legislation, he lost all his credibility. He quickly corrected his video, but it was too late. The genie was already out of the bottle. He got lumped right into the crazy survivalist category that most people lump all preppers into. It's a shame because you can do 1,000 good deeds in your life, but people will only remember the one stupid thing you did. One of my favorite channels out there is The Patriot Nurse. She's a nurse who's very passionate and knowledgeable about her medical prepping courses. Her association with someone like James Yeager puts a cloud over her reputation. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's how human nature works. In reality and human nature, you are guilty by association regardless of the facts. I know, it's not fair. Right now the world is changing and many survivalists and preppers are running into a brick wall. I'm not sure what the answer is right now. I believe on its own it'll naturally evolve into a more sheeple inclusive prepping culture. Now you still have to gear your preparations and safety measures for your particular location and environment. However, I believe our prepping plans should be altered towards helping survivors. Survivors aren't going to go away, and they'll still outnumber the preppers and survivalists after an economic collapse or a major disaster. Preppers should remember not everyone has a bug-out location in the hills or the mountains. Desperation and necessity will be needed for most people to change. They say substance abusers have to hit rock bottom before they take their first step towards change. It's going to be the same way with the sheeple who are unprepared. I encourage preppers to have patience with our sheeple friends and neighbors. Be that friendly voice of help in the darkness when the time comes. I think the prepping movement is changing fast. Our greatest prepping skill is our adaptability and not being too rigid in our prepping plans. Because when our plans meet the real world, it's not the real world that will yield to our plan. We must adapt whatever we're doing to the circumstances truly at hand. Tough times, thank goodness, also bring out the best in people. So start today. Surround yourself with good, solid friends with a knack of finding the best in any situation, and life is a joy. So choose your team wisely and try not to be so hateful towards the non-preppers. Thank you for your time. If you found this information useful, please share it with your friends and neighbors via Facebook or Twitter, or send it in an email. If you'd like to purchase my book, The SHTF-Art-of-War, and learn more about what dangers you're going to face during an immediate societal collapse, I'll put the link for my book right below this entry. And you can also check out my website where you'll see a lot of free information and more commentary into my book. All right. Thank you. Stay safe.